Hi, my name is Mel, and I'm so glad you could make it to this short chat about what must be genuinely the best walk in London. If you only ever do one walk in London, then this is it. Because it takes about an hour if you're going quickly, but more likely it'll be a leisurely morning or an afternoon, and you will pass by almost all the genuinely iconic sites in London. You know, the ones that tell you, hey, that's London. So the walk is almost entirely away from road traffic. And if you time it right, you'll be able to visit one of the oldest and most popular places to eat in the whole of London. And again, if your timing's good, you'll get into part of the Tower of London absolutely for free and enjoy some amazing views. Interested? Well, let's get started. This easy walk is the 3 miles or 5 kilometres between Parliament Square, walking across Westminster Bridge, travelling east along a pedestrian walkway on the south bank of the Thames, and then walking back over Tower Bridge and around the Tower of London. Simple to say, but you see so much on the way. So, before we begin, as ever, if you enjoy this video or find it useful, please can you like the channel by clicking on the thumbs up symbol, or better yet, you could subscribe to the channel or leave a comment. But subscribing costs you nothing. The easiest way of getting to the start of the walk is probably to travel to Westminster Tube Station, although you could also get a bus or an Uber or whatever. And as soon as you get to the station and exit out of it, right in front of you is icon number 1, the bell tower of the Houses of Parliament, known to all and sundry as Big Ben. Now, I'm going to keep this video short and sweet, so I won't be going into all the details of everything you'll see. But also in Parliament Square are Westminster Abbey, red telephone boxes, black cabs and red double-decker buses. So without too much effort, it's possible to take a photo or a selfie getting in a couple of these things into shot. But we're going to cross over Westminster Bridge, speeding it up a bit here so we don't take too long. And we'll turn left down the stairs at the far end. Turn left onto the Riverside Walkway. And in front of us is the London Eye, where if you pay your fee, starting at £29 per adult, you can get some great views of London. So after you've passed under Hungerford Bridge and over on the north side of the river, you can see one of London's oldest landmarks, Cleopatra's Needle, an Egyptian obelisk carved some 3,500 years ago. And if you're over on that side of the river, it's definitely worth a look. But we better get back to our walk along the South Bank. And underneath Waterloo Bridge is the South Bank Book Market, open every day of the week from about 10 till 5:30 or so. There's even a beach a bit further along, rather strange place where you can sunbathe at low tide or even knock out a sand sculpture or two. But we're going to press on, and we're going to pass under the Blackfriars bridges. First the road bridge and then the rail bridge, and we'll do that by means of an underpass with some rather pleasant accompaniment. And we'll emerge at the Tate Modern Art Gallery, which, as you will see, used to be a coal-fired power station centred right in the middle of London. No wonder the Smogs were real pea soupers. And like many of London's art galleries, it's free entry. And I suppose it's also fair to say that it contains some rather unusual exhibits. Well, each to his own tastes, I suppose. It's also got a rather great view from the top-level cafe. Unfortunately, as you can see, the balcony's shut due to a dispute over the privacy of neighbouring posh flats. In front of the Tate is the Millennium Bridge, which you can cross and go to St. Paul's, But that would be to miss some of the best bits, including the Globe Theatre, a reconstruction of the 16th century Shakespeare's Globe. Inside, you can get some of the cheapest theatre tickets in London, but bear in mind it's Shakespearean plays you'll be watching. Anyway, on with the walk and through another underpass, and we're heading towards a view of one of the modern icons of London, the Shard, the highest building in London, and in fact the highest building in the UK. And after a short walk through some back streets away from the river, we come to the Golden Hind, which is a replica of a 16th century sailing ship, one of the first to circumnavigate the globe. We're now getting very close to one of the oldest and certainly one of the most popular places to eat, Borough Market, where if you rock up between 10 a.m. and 5 p.m. or 4 p.m. on Sundays, there's a whole world of fine food to sample. Outside of these hours, it's closed, but as I've said, the sheer number of other eateries that you pass on this walk, you won't go hungry. Next port of call is Southwark Cathedral, with its links both to William Shakespeare, his brother's buried here, and the founder of Harvard College in the USA. And of course, there's an attached eatery. And we're going to rejoin the river at London Bridge, the most boring bridge dating from the 1970s in the whole of London. Surely, you'll say, London Bridge is one of the most famous bridges in the world, and it's got towers and a drawbridge and so on. But no, it's not London Bridge, it's Tower Bridge that's got those things, which we'll see as we progress along the walk, past a 20th century warship, HMS Belfast, which you can go round if you have a mind. Behind HMS Belfast, we can see the Sky Garden and Horizon 22, which are high viewpoints over London, and there's some links in the description to videos that we've made earlier about these two locations, if you're interested in visiting. But we're going to press on towards Tower Bridge, and I recommend that you cross it on the left-hand side, so you can get some views back up the way you came towards the City of London and the Tower of London in the background. So, when you've had enough of watching the world go by on the river, we'll carry on along the walk. And if Tower Wharf is open, and I'll come to the opening times in a minute, and there'll be a link in the description, I recommend that as you go towards the far end of the bridge, you go down this set of steps here, and at the bottom, turn to the left and go through the tunnel and gateway onto Tower Wharf. Here we are, we're going through the gates and we're now in the Tower of London. And this is the view from Tower Wharf. Obviously we can see Tower Bridge on the left, and as we swing round, you'll see the Shard, there's HMS Belfast, and looking up the river. And we're standing in front of the Tower of London and the White Tower in the background there. And as the shot swings round, we are looking back along Tower Wharf the way we just came. And now in this part of the Tower of London, there are a number of important things, such as the Grand Royal Entrance, where very important people would arrive, as well as Traitor's Gate, where less welcome guests would arrive at the tower to go to the prison and thence to execution. So there are some very interesting parts of the tower that are free to visit here, provided that you turn up generally between 7 a.m. and 7 p.m, but do check out the website in the description. Oh, there are also plenty of places to eat and drink as ever here. Over in the background, you can see Thames Pier, where you can get an Uber boat back to the beginning of the walk and get an entirely different view of the sights along the river. But we'll assume you're going to stick with the walk. And once you come out of the gates, we'll walk round the back of the Tower of London, following the signs to Tower Hill Tube Station. So we carry on walking, following the signs, and we emerge here, where there's another view of the rear of the Tower of London just before we proceed under or through an underpass heading towards the tube station. But before we get there, we encounter a part of the Roman wall and this statue of the Emperor Trajan. And the name they gave to their settlement 2,000 years ago was Londinium, which of course is where the name London comes from. So friends, many thanks for making it through to the end. And you know the drill, as ever. Can you like the video? Subscribe to the channel. As we say, it costs you nothing. You can click on the links to some of these other videos that are showing on the screen now, or you can click on the channel logo and subscribe. So, thanks a lot, and see you in the next one.